On Monday morning, January 30th, LSU announced the launch of Bayou Traditions. Scott Woodward put out a video, a number of quotes. I'm looking at his article now. But basically, this is the NIL collective that LSU is going to be partnering with moving forward. So they announced the launch of the collective, Bayou Traditions, which is a Baton Rouge-based collective. And then LSU, obviously, at the same time, says that they will be the official partner, or I guess the official collective of LSU Athletics and the title sponsor for LSU Gold, which, as many people know, is LSU's kind of all the extended documentary and different type stuff. The path from the football team was on there. But the big news here is that LSU has a collective that they're tied into now. And this isn't a collective where it's geared more towards Matty B, the fans, than, your biggest major boosters. And on the Bayou Traditions website, where you can support and click what you want to give, they've got these 6 tiers starting with $10 a month in the purple tier to $5,000 a month in the Go tier. So you're looking at $100. There's a $100 annual donation. There's a $50,000 up to $50,000. So everything between $100 and $50,000 falls into this collective. And you can even put in there which sport you want to donate to. I know LSU fans have been asking forever, when is LSU going to be partnered with the collective? When is it, when are they going to catch up in the arms race to a lot of these schools who are already doing this? Now, we've seen Scott Woodward working diligently behind the scenes. This is something I can tell you that's been in the process for well over a year, but now it's made official. It's launched. Fans can go on there. And Matty B, there's a lot of people who always say, I'm a fan. I want to give money. Where do I do it? Now, this is the answer. You can give us as little as $10 a month if you want to.
Yeah, that was my question, because the whole past year, it's been like, like you said, it's been people wanting to give, but not sure where to give, not sure how to give it. It felt very, I don't want to say unorganized, because obviously they were organized and they were building towards this clearly, but that's just how it felt. It felt like it was very much like, hey, just give it to the school and the school will give it away or something like that. Or obviously in the NIL era, it was a lot of those, players on commercials. You go to Canes and you see KJ Williams has a cutout, like stuff like that. It felt very company driven in a way, and now with this collective, it feels like the school can help facilitate those a little bit more, a little bit better, and more importantly, it can help fans figure out where to donate and how to donate to this, to where it's not just Canes and Gordon helping these kids out.
No, 100% what you said is correct. It was very, because there was no official collective that you could give where you knew it was going to LSU student athletes. It was supported by LSU. It was the official title sponsor, or however you want to put it, of the NIL space. It was businesses. And if you're an LSU fan today, you say, this is great. And then you send an extra prayer and a blessing up to Gordon McKernan, because my man just carried the torch.
Held it down.
For a good year. You mentioned Canes. Obviously, a lot of businesses are getting involved, but Gordon has been front and center with almost everything. So at least individual-wise, here's a collective where it's not affiliated with any business. It just goes straight to the student athletes. I don't know if I mentioned there is a tab in there where you can say which sport you would prefer the money go to. But they also did make it very clear, Scott Woodward did, that the sole philanthropic, plural, leg of this would be TAF, right? And TAF does scholarships. TAF does obviously different renovations, things like that. A lot of TAF spreads their money in a lot of different ways. He said TAF will obviously still exist. It will be the main operating arm in terms of educational opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. He says scholarships, facilities, sports specific, all encompassing operational support of LSU athletics is done through TAF. So this is kind of what schools are going to have to deal with now. You've got a place already that people give money to that helps the athletic department. Now there's a space to give money to that goes directly to the student athletes, because that's what NIL's created. Before, the athletes were not getting, broken off here. Now that they are, this is kind of what it falls into. So I guess all these colleges are kind of hoping fans are going to double down. If you gave to TAF, you
That's
continue
the
to do that,
question.
and then you give more to the other space. So that's going to be one thing. ADs I know around the country and people who work in athletic departments are going to be watching of like, are people still going to give us money, or are they going to give this collective money now?
That's the biggest question. That's where you can get into a rabbit hole of debate for however, many minutes or hours where it's like how do they, because obviously they plan multiple years in advance like that. I mean, I knew the North Texas athletic director that's now at West Virginia. When he was at North Texas, he had a 20-year plan, and you build that based off of revenue and donations and stuff like that. How do those plans kind of change if the amount you have to designate towards a facility, towards, let's say, the swim facility or the volleyball facility, anything like that? How much does it change if that money is now going towards NIL? Because if we're being honest, if we're being real, I mean, we run a message board. We understand how it goes. Is football is gonna get how high of a percentage of the NIL money? Like whenever people click down and press preferred, it's what 90% of people are going to press football for that. Like that's what it's going to be. Um, but the thing is, you made this point on the message board on our board, and I think it's a good point. It's like the smaller sports aren't looking for NIL; they want
No,
facility. Like the people who go there for, like I said, like volleyball or any of these smaller sports, it's like they're not going there to get the NIL deals like they are in football or basketball, right? They're going there to compete for championships, sure. And how do you do that? You get players through facilities, you get them through staffs, you just have them well equipped to where they can travel well, those type of things. That's more important than NIL for those smaller sports. So
no,
will the NIL collective pull from that is the concern for me when you look at the smaller sports and how they're impacted.
no, 100%. And I mean, think about that. You mentioned a great point there, travel. Like, it's not just coaches, or you don't want your smaller sports busing 5 states over when they could fly. Well, all of these things come into an athletic department's budget, and when you look at what TAF can do for smaller sports with helping, whether it is, hey, we need updated facilities as the golf team, or like we
Mhm.
recruit swimming and diving, golf, we recruit only international players, really.
Yep.
We need to be able to fly to
Tennis.
see all these people. We need to be able to bring them in on visits. And NIL money doesn't matter to them. What matters is you're we've got good coaches here because we pay them well. We've got good facilities because we've invested and updated in them. So the back and forth between how money is allocated always and has always been allocated to what it now means, how much of that percentage of people come out in an NIL collective. And look, maybe the option ranges for Bayou Traditions are $100 a month or $100 a year to 50,000 a year. Those aren't like big money movers in TAF, those. And so people who are above that, it even has in there like on Bayou Traditions, if you want to donate more than 50,000, you have to like email this person,
Email
and
us.
it's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
So I would think LSU and Woodward and all them know, like, hey, look, our biggest donors are the ones that sort of drive TAF, drive raising money, getting money to buy out football coaches at different periods where you need 20, 25 million. So perhaps this, a collective does become just a thing dominated by the average fan who is wanting to give something but doesn't necessarily give so much every year to TAF that it hits them in a hard way.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, we know football is the revenue generator in college athletics, and that's not a secret. But there is, to me, an immense amount of importance on those smaller sports in giving scholarships and allowing young athletes, to be able to compete at a college level. So that's where it's going to be interesting to see how that's impacted, if it's impacted at all, and how Scott Woodward and other athletic directors plan around that moving forward.
Yeah, well, we'll get more info over time. We did want to lead off the pod saying that it is now official. LSU Athletics has an NIL collective that it's partnered with, uh, officially partnered with, and we'll see kind of what it means moving forward. But as of right now, you can go on there and donate to the collective. Again, I think it's bayoutraditions.com. BayouTraditionsCollective.com is the website. We've also got it posted on the Bengal Tiger message board and in the story on the front page. So you can go read all about what Woodward said. They put out a few videos. Tyrann Mathieu even did a video encouraging fans to donate and announcing the launch of it. So all hands on deck. If you've got Honey Badger and Woodward pumping something up, then it's the real deal.